I am so excited to welcome Ariana Stanberry, jazz and gospel alto saxophonist. Welcome, Ariana.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you again so much for allowing me to be here.
Oh, it is a joy, Mama. Well, it's your excellence that brought you here. It's your excellence that made you stand out. So let's talk about it. Now, what made you start playing the saxophone at, what is this, Groton Public School? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, Groton Public School.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me, what made you start playing it?
That's a great question. So I actually really wanted to play the trumpet when I was younger, which is sometimes funny when people ask me, like, why did you start playing the saxophone? But I remember having to choose between the saxophone and the trumpet in the 4th grade, and I decided with the saxophone because it's my mom's favorite instrument.
Oh, okay. So what instruments did you play in the band at Fitch High School Marching Band?
So I mainly played the alto saxophone in the marching band, but then I transitioned into being drum major, which is kind of like the director of the band. So I became the conductor, and I didn't play for the last few years. But the only instrument was mainly the alto saxophone.
Okay, now you received Outstanding Musician Awards at various jazz festivals. Okay, yes. So tell me about that. Tell me about some of those.
Okay, so in high school in Connecticut, the state that I reside in, there are a lot of opportunities for young jazz musicians to be able to participate in local jazz festivals. So I had the privilege to be able to participate in some of those. And for most of them, you had to audition, and for some of them, they just invite the school. So a lot of them, I just went with my school jazz band, which I was the lead alto saxophonist in. And at the end of the performances, there would be an award ceremony. And at a few of them, I got the honor to receive some awards after them.
So now, for everyone that is listening, is it easy to play the alto sax?
It really depends on the person. Every single person is different. I would say to be able to learn the concept behind it is very simple because it is the same fingerings as the recorder and very similar fingerings as the flute as well. But as far as being able to develop that unique sound, that's the hardest part. So yes. I could say you can easily learn to play the saxophone in a week if they wanted to. But in order to master the saxophone, that's kind of like a lifelong journey that every saxophonist has to go through. So I would say it's very difficult to master it.
So in other words, you have to practice. So you can kind of play it ish if you just give it a little bit. But in order to be excellent at it, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time doing it.
Most definitely.
So did you always love practicing? Because, you're a young girl. You want to play with your friends and, do whatever else it is. What made you, commit so much to it?
That's a great question. For me, it was very, very difficult for me to find time to practice, especially while I was in high school and middle school, because many don't know, but I was very involved in athletics. I was a runner in track and field. So that actually took up a lot of my time after school. I would be at track practice a lot and marching band rehearsals. And I didn't necessarily get that much time to dive in individually in my own practice time. But what I found to be very helpful was listening and the concept of listening to music and how important that is in a practice routine. So that kind of became my practice routine. So I would be listening constantly to different gospel artists. I would be listening constantly to Tia Fuller and Kenny Garrett and Phil Woods just to understand their saxophone tone a little bit more. And then by the time I got to hold my saxophone, after not practicing for a while, I would realize that some of their tones and inflections and riffs I kind of caught on just by listening to them alone. And then it kind of naturally transitioned into my playing.
Wow, that's so powerful. And I mean, that goes to how influenced we are by whatever it is that we pay attention to. You know what I mean? And so that's why, we need to guard the avenues of our minds because, whatever you pay attention to, you become a lot like it, or the people that you surround yourself with, you become like them. So watch your company as well. Now, Ariana, there's a Jamaican flag in your bio on Instagram. Can we talk about why it's there? Because I hear a very strong American accent. So is there Jamaican in your family?
Yes, so everyone in my family is Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica. I was born in St. Joseph's Hospital in Kingston, and I grew up in Portmore. I lived there for 6 years before I moved to the United States with my family. And we've been living here ever since, but we still have family in Jamaica, especially on my mom's side. And Jamaica is definitely a part of my story. It's a part of who I am, and I cannot imagine myself as a musician being able to express my musicianship without including, where I'm from. I can't forget home. And
Absolutely
I love
not.
Jamaica with all of my heart. So I try and strive. Even if you pay close attention to my saxophone, I try and use a black mouthpiece and sometimes a green ligature, and the saxophone itself is that gold-yellow color. Because I try and rock my colors on every stage.
Love it! Black, green, and gold. That's right, Mama. I love it. I love it. So you are now at Berklee College, Miss Jamaican of Music in Boston. And so tell me, how is that going? What are you studying?
So my major is professional music with focuses in performance, production, and music education. And right now I'm just trying to learn a little bit of each of those topics and to dive deeper into my own production skills, my own recording skills, my own teaching skills, as well as becoming a performer and understanding a little bit of what it's like to be on the stage as a saxophonist.
Wow. Now, I also see that you use your platform on Instagram to speak out against injustice. You're very much a proponent of loving the skin that we're in and standing up for Black rights. You speak very strongly and vehemently on that. Tell me why that's important to you.
Well, I feel, especially as a musician, I feel it's very important for me to not try and take away my humanity from my musicianship. I feel like everything about me, every aspect about me is related to who I am. So I kind of feel like it's impossible for me to be able to create music on a platform for an audience that is predominantly Black. I have a lot of followers that are from Jamaica, from Nigeria, from Ghana, and African Americans in the United States. And I feel like as somebody that's catering to that audience and catering to my people, it's kind of impossible and somewhat wrong, of me to not speak out when our community is hurting and to not use my platform to be a voice and to allow everyone to understand, what's happening behind closed doors within the Black community. And it's just my passion, and not necessarily my passion because it isn't anything that anyone would look forward to doing, speaking out against racial injustice. But I feel like it is very important for me, and I feel like it is a part of my calling to make sure that I remain vocal about racial injustice. Because without justice, if justice is being threatened one way or in one place, it's a threat everywhere. So I just try and make sure that I remain vocal at all times for Black people.
Wow. And do you create music that speaks to the pain, the resultant pain or the resultant struggle, that Black people are experiencing all over the world, not just in America? Our history is one of struggle, and pushing against any type of systemic racism or control, but it absolutely has not been an easy one. Do you have music that speaks to that? Have you created anything like that?
So far, not necessarily, but
that's fine.
It is in the works, and it is definitely coming soon. So stay tuned for that.
We will. We're so excited and proud of you, of all that you have accomplished from St. Joseph's to Berklee. Yes. Our Jamaican princess, Ariana Stanberry, is all types of awesome. Just walking in her greatness, being excellent at paying specific attention to learning from the greats. She spoke to us about listening to established musicians and learning from them, and then incorporating it into her own style as she attends the illustrious Berklee College of Music in Boston. We're going to take a listen now, Ariana, as we say goodbye to you, to Trust and Believe. Tell me about this song.
So Trust and Believe is a new single that will be released within the next few weeks, or more so the next few days. So everyone will get a little sneak peek tonight. But I wrote this song last semester while I was studying at Berklee, actually as an assignment for a school assignment. However, I decided to utilize the opportunity to be creative and turn it into a time for me to explore my singer side as well
Wow.
as use lyrics to just create a message for anyone, especially during this time, to just have hope in the future and have hope in the work that, we are all putting in right now in all aspects of our life, whether it be at the front lines of the pandemic, the front lines of the protests, whether it be in our school institutions. Everything is hectic right now. So the message, trust and believe, just goes out to everyone, wherever you are, wherever country you're in, whatever situation you're dealing with. It's just going out to you and to remind you that if you trust and believe in what God is doing in your life, and if you trust and believe in those around you, then your future will be hopeful.
Awesomeness. Yes, yes, yes. All caps, yes to you, Ariana Stanberry. Thank you so much for joining me today. Our high frequency youth of the day, everyone, Ariana Stanberry. We're going to take a listen to her song, Trust and Believe. It's a pre-release. You heard it here first on The Edge, 105 FM. Thank you so much for joining me. All the best.
Thank you.
Enough love.